welcome to Bitcoin Wednesday. We got a good show for you today. We don't have a lot to talk about. The market is going good, but we're going to give a few insights because that's what we do every Wednesday. My co-host Vance will be joining us before too long, and we will get started. I just wanted to make sure that the sharing was on my Facebook and that everything was working. So now if I can just get out of my timer screen for some reason, there we go. We'll be able to see what is going on. So hopefully everybody's having a great week. I'm a little late today because I had to finish watching the Utah Jazz beat the Houston Rockets. I'm sorry if you haven't seen the game yet. If you're watching this and you've saved the game and recorded it or paused it or whatever, well, good for being here, but shame on you. You should have watched the game before you tuned in. Anyways, so hope everybody had a great week. Let's see. Let's get started. Things are starting to get good. The market is rebounding, and it is looking good. We are getting ready for the bull run. Some people may think that it's already been on the bull run, and maybe it is. Maybe it's a good start of one, but let's see what's going on in the market. So let me just write this down. Today is May 2nd. Last week, the total market cap of cryptocurrency was $386,000. Right this moment, we are sitting at $437 billion. $437 billion. Man, we are up almost 15. Man, we're up almost $55 billion in 1 week. That is awesome. $55 billion into the market. 437 billion. That gives us a Bitcoin dominance of 35.9, which is great because last week we were at 38.8. So as we see the Bitcoin dominance going down, we see the altcoin prices going up. So very awesome. Let's see what Bitcoin is currently at $9,241. So that's an increase. Last week it was at $8,800. So that's an increase of $440 in a week. So pretty good return on your money if you had Bitcoin, but definitely a very good return on your money if you're invested in quite a few of the different altcoins that are out there. So okay, so let's go down and see what's going on in the market today. Man, I like those numbers. $50 billion in 1 week has gone into the market. Now, taking this into account. Last January 2017, the whole market cap of cryptocurrency was $17 billion. $17 billion. We are 3 times that in 1 week that we've added. So very good. Last year, we ended off the year around a little over $800 billion in the market cap. And so we're working our way back up. It's been a slow spring, but we're getting there, and I expect it's going to keep going, and we're going to hit $1 trillion this year. And it could be sooner than later with as much money as pouring into cryptocurrency right now. All right, let's take a look at our top 100 cryptocurrencies and just see what's going on. Ethereum has broke the 700 mark at 702. They've been in the 600 range this past week, and so they're up. Ripple is sitting at 85 cents, which is about the same as it was last week. Bitcoin Cash has been growing. It's up almost 14% today alone. It was in the $1,000 range. It's now at $1,500. So it is growing. EOS is staying about the same at $18. Cardano is up a little bit, 37 cents. That's almost 6% today. Take in mind, if you keep getting a 6% growth each day, that's an incredible return. IOTA. Oh, IOTA is doing well. Stellar Lumens. Let's see. I keep skipping. Litecoin's at $152. Not a lot of movement on it. It's kind of staying steady around that 140 to 150 range. Stellar Lumens is up to 43 cents. Down a little bit on the day, but still holding pretty strong. IOTA, very good day for IOTA. 20% up in the market at $2.36. It wasn't that long ago that Vance and I were talking about IOTA and when it was in the 80-cent range. And it has almost tripled itself. And that's probably been less than a month or so, I think, Vance. So anyways, IOTA doing very well. Monero sitting at $247, about the same. Let's go down here. Tether, of course, is at 99 cents because the market's going up. The market's doing well. Tether goes along with the US dollar and tends to be a little bit lower. What we don't like is when Tether is at the $1 range, so that means that the rest of the market is kind of, everybody's putting their money into Tether. Amisago, $17. Everything, a lot of green today, a lot of green. Lisk is up 7.5% at $14.20. Verge is falling a little bit, down 4%, but still maintaining almost an 8-cent market on that. Looks like we got Vance here in the lobby. Let me go ahead and bring him in. Let him know we're coming. I'm going to throw on my headphones real quick so I can hear what he says. But we have got Honest on the line right now. Can you hear me, Vance? Oh, Vance sound may not be working. Vance, can you hear me? Nope, we lost Vance. He must have had a problem or whatever, but I'm sure he'll be back in a minute. So we will continue on. I was saying Verge is down a little bit, but still maintaining right there around the 8-cent range. They got up to 10 cents, had a big announcement. They were joining forces with Pornhub and decided that was not, people didn't like that too much, I think. And so they dropped down to about 6 cents. So let's see if we got Vance back here again. Vance, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You hear me?
You can hear me this time. Okay. Welcome to the show, the world famous, infamous
Crypto Vance.
Mickey Crypto Vance. Yeah. How are we doing tonight, Vance?
Good.
Good to see you. Had a couple of computer issues, I understand, huh?
Yeah, just doing some updates. Wouldn't let me jump in for some reason, so.
I won't get too mad at him. Like I was telling the audience earlier, I was a little busy watching the Utah Jazz beat the Houston Rockets tonight. Nobody said it could happen. The Rockets were supposed to sweep us. Oklahoma City was supposed to sweep us, but nope, we're not ready to be done yet. So good night. Sure makes Bitcoin Wednesday fun. So I was just talking a little bit about.
But you're in a good mood.
Yes, I'm in a good mood. The market cap is up 50 billion since last week.
Wow, we're at
437. Yeah, let's see. You're probably refreshed a little bit.
438, 300 million.
Okay, so that is up almost $1 billion since I started this broadcast.
That's
$1 billion. Yes,
and Bitcoin's down to 35%.
Yep, I love that. So. Yes, I've just been going down on a couple of the coins, looking at things. I just mentioned a minute ago that IOTA is kicking butt today at 20%. Number 9, they are
had some really good days. Like them and EOS has had some really good days lately. Yeah. So, I mean, EOS was up over $20.
It was. It's holding.
Yeah, like over this weekend. Yeah.
IOTA, dude, it was like a month. Was it about a month ago maybe that it was where IOTA was sitting at 75, 80 cents? We were talking about it, how low it got.
Was it that low? I didn't think it got down that low, but yeah, I don't doubt it one bit that's where it was at. Let's go back.
Let's say it was under $1. I mean, it was definitely under $1, and I thought it was in the 80-cent range. So if that's the case, it's 3 times itself in the month.
No, you're right. You're right. It was 93 cents.
93 cents?
93 cents. So it's 3 times itself. And that's
how long? How long ago was that? A month ago?
That was April 8th.
Okay. I wonder. I think it was lower than that even before that time.
Yeah,
So
I just pulled the last month, and that was the low in the last month. Let's
yeah,
go back a little bit further.
because it
And
seems like we were talking about it, and I was thinking, man, that's low.
no, that actually is the low of the last 3 months. I pulled the last 3 months, so almost beginning of the year, and that was the low. It was April 8th, April 7th actually, and it got down to 93 cents.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. 93 cents to $2.36 right now. That's a good jump.
20% just on the day. So
Yeah.
not bad, not bad. So all right, let's see.
Not
Where
bad
was
at all.
I'd gone through a few already. I'm down about where are we at? Steam is at Steam's up to $4. It's it's up a little bit today, but it was in the $2 range. So we've got a lot of coins that have bounced up.
Yeah.
Scicoin is up almost 9% today, sitting at almost 3 cents. I really want that one to bust out. I really want it to
Which
just,
one?
Scicoin.
Scicoin? Yeah.
Yeah. Bought it low, well below penny. So
Yeah.
it's done well, but man, that'd be a fun one to see. Boom.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's a lot of they've got 34 billion circulating supply. It's quite a few. So
What's their market share? What's their market cap actually?
976 million. So
they're
not
almost
bad.
$1 billion. I mean, that's good.
It's good. I mean, but there's a lot of supply of it, that's for sure. So that that's going to keep the price down. But it's doing well. It's number 32. I think Electronium used to be around that.
But I'm saying, look at their circulating supply. They've got 34 billion coins in circulation, where Electronium's still at 9, I think, or something like that. I don't know. It's quite low, but I mean, that's more than the total supply of Electronium to begin with. So
yeah. Yep.
I think there's that's very close to what we're probably going to be looking at, but unfortunately they're the same price right now.
Yep. I don't know what Zilqua is. It's up 21% today at 12 cents.
Yeah.
Not quite sure what it does, but let's see. Going down. Golem. Holy crap. Golem's up 36% today.
Yeah, they were up over 40 at one point.
Wow.
When I saw them earlier. And I don't know what the coin is at all, but I just know it was up there.
One of the guys I watched some of these YouTube videos that's a really big fan of Golem and stuff, and I had that on my radar a while back and was looking at it, but I just never jumped into it. It's like I think Golem's like a supercomputer type system. But it's been up over $1.
Utility coin? Maybe it's a utility coin then, if that's what I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
I don't know a lot about it either. That's why I never really jumped into it. But
where's Wax today? Wax is up 12%. Jeez, they average like 20% a day too.
Do they?
Mm-hmm.
Where are they hanging out at?
Number 86. They're number 86. They're at 40 cents, but they're relatively new as well. But a lot of the other guys I've kind of watched like them got into their ICO and it's done very well. So
just going down. Not sure I see. Oh, there's Wax. Yeah. 10% today. Loom Network 31%.
Yeah.
God, there's always some sleepers, It's like, holy cow, what happened to this coin? It's up 40%. Nobody's ever heard of it. Fun Coins up 6%.
Well, they're European or Asian markets or something, that's picked those up.
Yeah.
So
Power Ledger's at 56. It used to be over $1 coin. I've got a little bit of Power Ledger.
Yeah.
More of a utility token. And so that's the top 100. Where is Electronium sitting at?
They're at 103.
103?
They were 109 yesterday, I think, because I think I told you yesterday they were 109, but they're 103 today, but they're up
almost 9%.
Yeah, they went from 2.4 cents to 2.7 cents today. It's kind of interesting because I was checking them out and just did an average over the last month since April 1st, and they're up 25%.
Since April 1st?
Since April 1st. And so if we can keep that trend going at 24 or 25 cent or 25% a month, I mean, that's
just keep compounding it.
Yeah, just keep compounding it. That's going to turn out to be quite nice.
What was the low on that Electroneum? Was it like about 1.7 or 1.8 cents?
It was something like that. Let's go back here and look at their 3-month.
And we told you here on the show, buy it up. It's super cheap. It's on sale. So
yeah,
when it hits 10 cents, man, that's
so their 3-month. What was their low? Their price. It was down to 2.2 cents. Let's go back a little bit further. I swear it dropped. And it may not be reflecting on here because that was on Cryptopia that it did that. Actually, you're right. We did hit 1.9 cents. Actually,
had to have been lower, I think.
I'm just kind of scanning through here to kind of see. It's a little harder to do this on.
It is kind of hard. Are you just looking at the graph?
Yeah, I'm just trying to go through, put a point on the graph and kind of go through it. I'm seeing 1.83 was the.
I definitely remember. You know, and it's been, if you look from March, I mean,
yeah,
from February. What's February? When did we start?
That was March. That was March 29th. So that's where I pulled it off of. Where did I pull it? I pulled it off a different site. I just had April 1st to now, and it was up 25%. But so it could have been pulling off the 2.1 cents. But anyway, March 29th, it was 1.83. So it has
pretty low, but if you look from basically March 19th or so, I'm just kind of looking at the graph in general.
Yeah.
Middle of March till now, it's been pretty steady. I mean, it's just gone. It's just a straight line going across there.
Right. So if you look at the end of March 29th, that's kind of where we hit our low. If you just kind of look at the graph as it's coming down, the whole month of March, I mean, we were just dropping. I mean, because March 20th, 9 days before the end of the month, we were at 3.5 cents.
Yeah.
You know, and then by the end of the month, we're at 1.8 cents. So we've kind of been we haven't gone down. We haven't really gone up. We've just kind of been stagnant. We've gone sideways, basically.
When you're talking a tenth of a cent here and there, you know, it's been pretty steady. Yeah, I'm showing April 1st about 1.8 cents. And
the thing is, on that graph too, we're looking at the value to USD, not the value to Bitcoin, because if we're looking at value to Bitcoin has continually dropped until almost the end of April.
Right.
And now it's starting to go back up. So that had continued to drop until April 30th. So 2 days ago. And now it's jumped back up. So that's I think that's where we're getting, that's where that sell wall comes into play.
Right.
Because we're devaluing against Bitcoin because people are buying or doing that sell wall is in Bitcoin. It's not in USD.
Right.
So that's where we're trying to get around.
So since we're talking about Electroneum a little bit, talk about the upcoming events. I don't think we talked about them last week very much, did we?
We talked about the fork. We talked about the fork last week about how they're forking away from Monero to become ASICs resistant, meaning that people with ASIC systems can't mine, won't be able to mine. Or being resistant doesn't mean that they can't mine. It's just going to mean that it's not going to be worth their time to mine using an ASIC system. The only way you're going to be able to mine this, of course, is going to be through graphic card setups, GPU systems, or through your phone. So that's the thing that's coming around through on May 30th is when that fork is supposed to take place, is on May 30th.
Right.
The other thing is they've raised their transaction fee. So it was 0.01 electronium. Now it's 0.1 electronium. So they raised it 10 times what it was before. And it's because they're continually getting hit with these micro transactions, basically people selling one electronium at an extremely low rate and keeping the price down. And Electronium team has actually come out about this, and that's why they're raising the transaction cost, that fee, so that these micro transactions it's going to be too costly for whoever it is. You know, I still think it's the banks, but whoever it is that's losing money by doing these micro transactions and keeping the cost of ETN down. You know, and Els even came out about it and has publicly stated that that's what's going on. They're going to change the transaction fee to try and hit that. The other thing they're doing is when the fork happens, the block size on the chain, on the blockchain, is going to become larger, meaning they're going to put a lot more transactions into a block. So again, it's not a lot of smaller blocks causing, basically a bottleneck on the blockchain. And that should slow things, or that should speed things up. On the blockchain processing, that'll speed things up. And again, it'll take a lot of these small transactions and just lump them together into a larger group, into a larger block, and basically the mining will. It has multiple different effects to the mining and everything, but basically there won't be as much mining coin coming out of it. Because why? The blocks are bigger, so one person wins the block. It's not, people aren't going to be able to mine as much electronium as they are now. So there's a few different ways to look at this. One, we're going to be ASICs resistant, so ASICs are going away. That means there's not going to be as much ETN being mined and dumped back into the market. So again, not as much being sold for cheap. Okay, higher transaction fees, which means selling it at small amounts isn't going to be worth it anymore because you're going to be losing more money by doing that.
So Vance, I put an order on there for 100 electronium, let's say at 2 cents. Yeah. I buy it and it closes. So what's happening is it's got to be a bot that's doing this trading, don't you think? Every time there's a trade made. So now that bot is buying one electronium for 1.5 cents or 1.7 cents, whatever. Actually,
they're selling. They're selling one at 1.5 cents. Yeah,
they're selling it immediately after I just bought something at 2 cents because someone sold it to me for 2, which would mean the price was going up. But they're selling it for 1.5, which is keeping the price down. So every time when you're looking at your exchange, the price is always showing it's at 1.7 or something because they're manipulating the market on us.
Right. So it's basically artificially deflating the value or undervaluing the coin, basically, is what it's doing. And it's been going on now for, I don't know, a month, 2 months. Ever since we got down to the bottom, they've just kept it there. And so Els has actually come out on this publicly in his videos and said, this is going on and we need to stop it. So part of that is to become ASICs resistant so that we're not getting flooded with all these miners out there. That's one part of it. The other part is raising the fee so that it's not going to be worth it for someone to try it. They wanted to make the coin cheap to begin with. I mean, they didn't want high fees on transactions. They wanted to make this so that it was more beneficial for someone to pick it up and start using it. That's what they wanted. But since they've been public and this has been going on last month, they've noticed that, okay, we've got to get out of this. We got to figure a way around this and stop the attack, basically, is what it comes down to. It's more of an attack on the coin to try and keep it artificially, down. But, as Brian and I have talked about this before, we think, there's a lot of reason why someone would want to do that. Why? They want to buy as much as possible at a lower rate. So if they're artificially, devaluing the coin and they're selling it at 2.2 cents, or right now we're at 2.7 cents. So let's say they're selling at 2.7 cents. They may be selling 1 or 2 to keep the price that low. And then if someone's just discouraged and doesn't want to keep holding their coin anymore, or the guys that are on the ASIC side that are just mining like crazy and selling like crazy, they're buying up as much as that they possibly can, because they know after a while they can't continue to do this and the value is just going to go up and they're going to make money off of it. So it's either a group or we really don't know, but there is a group out there doing this. So that's where it's coming from.
And do you suspect that as time goes on and Electroneum starts doing their marketing and growing, and the coin starts growing in value and going up there, do you think they could lower the transaction rate in the future?
Oh yeah, he said that they definitely could go back to do that depending on the value of the coin. Right. So let's say the coin reaches $1. Well, you're not going to pay 10 cents every time you do a transaction. They want to put it back to 1 cent again to do the transaction, and it really just depends on the value of the coin. So we just have to kind of wait and see what the future holds for Electroneum when it comes to that. But, you know, and the thing is, I always say it's the banks, because the banks hate crypto. It takes so much money out of their pocket that they can scam us with, you know. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. But I mean, it could just be an investment group. If there's an investment group out there with a lot of money that knows how to play this market, then they're doing it too, knowing that it's a long-term basically hedge for Electroneum. Keep it low now, buy as much as we possibly can that's being mined, and hold it for the future. So make our money out, because they see the potential of it. So I think there's a lot of different ways to look at it, but easily it could be an investment firm that's got, you know, a couple billion sitting under their investment portfolio that they can sit there and play with. So
I was just going to say that raises the question, whoever's doing this, why are they doing it? Why are they targeting Electroneum? Do they, I mean, and you're exactly right. I think, you know, someone might be hedging against the future, knowing that Electroneum has now got a patent pending status. That they have got some big things, that they've got huge contracts with mobile carriers and payment systems and things like that. And so someone, I think, might know that Electroneum is going to be huge one day, and wants to gather as many coins as possible and keep that price as low as they can to just keep scooping them up. So it's
and that's the only thing that really makes sense to me. Otherwise, why would you be losing money at selling these at microtransactions where it's costing you more to sell it than, you know, just in the fees and the exchange fees? Heck, the exchange fees cost you more than that just to do one, you know, to sell one Electroneum off. Yeah, the exchange fees are going to be higher than that. So that's where you kind of got to look at this and say, why would they be doing it? And all I can figure out is they've got to be buying the ASICs mining coins that are hitting the market as quickly as possible, but they're still selling their one little one as low as possible so they can buy more at that price back. And you're right, they're hedging it because they know that the future of Electroneum is much brighter than anybody anticipates.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. Yeah,
the only ones out there getting the deals besides like Verge, but I mean, that's Verge got one deal. And how many is L's put into Electroneum already?
Quite a few,
we've got 5 or 6 that were big telecom companies. I mean, and then the patent alone, and they've been doing this before the patent. They've been doing this since the deals have been announced. So, I mean, the patent alone on top of that, I'm sure they're just giggling, thinking, oh man, what's this going to do when ASICs goes out the end of the month and all those coins don't get dumped back on the market, and now you're going to have a slow leak of coins into the market.
Right.
You know, there's going to be a difference.
Which should raise the price, start to raise the price up immediately.
Right, because there's not, the people that are holding are not selling. The investors that started with this way back when at ICO, like you and I, we're the ones holding. And if you go look at how many coins are out there, there's 6 billion circulating supply, 6.8 billion circulating supply. But what's the volume? You go look at the markets and the volumes. I mean, our volume's not that high. I mean, Cryptopia's volume was 700,000 today, in the last 24 hours. And they were the high, which is crazy, thinking that KuCoin used to be, over 1 million. I mean, they were the ones that were like 3 and 4 million. Now KuCoin's down to 553,000. So they're in second place. But if people hadn't heard yesterday, KuCoin actually stopped letting people import or send or receive Electronium onto their platform, their wallets. They shut down their wallets because why?
Problem. Right.
They're having issues keeping up with
all the transactions,
with the volume. Right?
Yeah,
they can't keep up with the volume. Same thing that happened with Cryptopia. So yesterday they shut it down and said, we're going to do this and we're going to do it quick. So it's not going to be a month-long process like Cryptopia. Heck, I think Cryptopia still had issues.
Yeah.
Before KuCoin opened. But the fact is, KuCoin came out and said, we're going to get this done quickly as possible. They're actually working with Electronium, with the team, to get it fixed. So and part of that, I think that's going to help is going to be this fork as well, with the larger blocks and all this stuff and the higher rate. It's going to stop a lot of these microtransactions that are going on and clogging up the exchanges. I think that's what's going to come down to. So,
it's interesting. I'm just kind of looking at the volume and stuff of Electronium back in the beginning and how it was going. And a lot of the time it's $5 million in a 24-hour period all the time. I mean, here's a 23, and then we get to January 7th, right when the market started to go down. We did $41 million in a 24-hour period in Electronium. Jeez. And we had a $900 million market cap. So
yeah, we were almost at
January 7th was D-Day. Yeah, it all started going down after that. So
yeah,
and that's the whole market. The whole market went like that. So unfortunately, if we had been in a still growing market, we might be at $35, right?
Yeah, we might have Fugazi'd it, right?
We might have Fugazi'd it. Yep. I miss Fugazi. Come back, Fugazi.
That's right. Yeah. We need some fun updates from you, man.
I do like listening
to play the guitar videos a little bit. Let's
maybe him and the engineer are trying to figure out how to start a ICO or something,
Yeah, Liam too, man.
Haven't heard from him, so
yeah.
And it's all right. I mean, you put out stupid predictions. Stupid, crazy predictions. Now, if they,
I don't think they were stupid. They actually had a lot of
backing behind it.
They had a lot of math and technical behind it, saying we know where the money's going to come from. They were just behind, or ahead, I should say. The market's behind.
Their predictions could still be true, just not on the time frame that they were projecting them for.
I'm thinking they're just a year behind.
Yeah.
That's what I'm really thinking. They're just a year behind is really what it is. I think they were just jumping the gun a little too much because they were expecting a lot more mass adoption to come through in a shorter time, which now we've realized is not going to happen. I mean, it takes time. We've got the deals in place, but the marketing hasn't even started on these deals.
Right.
I mean, what happens when the marketing hits? Man, we may surpass their predictions. Fugazi was saying $35 by now or June 1st
March 31st, wasn't it?
March 31st. Yeah, he was saying $35 and expecting that to come in, and he had some really good ideas and calculations of why it would happen and stuff, but no one expected the market to get hit as hard as it did. I mean, we literally have been in a recession.
Yeah.
For crypto. I mean, and people can call it a bubble, they can call it whatever they want, but I can tell you straight up, it's because of China. China is where all the money was at. And when China shut things down and said no more, then that's where there was no more money coming back into the market. So I can tell you straight up, that's where a lot of this came from, was China. And now they're realizing the backlash. And I think that's going to be overturned. I think we're going to see some big deals come back from China here in the future.
Well, and you can, when China opens that up and allows people to back in, this market cap will double quickly.
Oh yeah, because they're the reason why
500
over. They were the reason we were over, or we were at $1 trillion last fall.
Right. And a lot of these projections and stuff that people were putting out was back when we had an $800 billion market cap and things were growing like crazy. So they did not foresee this recession in Bitcoin as badly as it's been. So, but it is on the rebound. I do believe it's on the rebound. Coins are doing well. We'll see another little dip, I think.
We're seeing the money come back in. And you're right. So for all you out there that watch this later and are listening, there will be another dip after the money comes back in the market, and that's going to be, I mean, that could be August. I mean, that could be that soon that we have another dip. Is it going to hit us as hard as we have been that the April was to us? March and April were to us. No, it's not going to be that bad. But what's going to happen is, let's say July. Let's just say in 2 months, 3 months in July. Let's just say the money's coming back in. The value of the coins has gone back up to where people were buying in January when we dipped. Okay, let's just say we make it back to January numbers. Okay, and people are going to sell out to recoup the money because why? They've been down. They've been really down, and they want their money back. So they're gonna take that money out. The ones that were really scared, first timers and all this stuff, they're going to take their money out as quickly as possible once they've got it back. Now, where are they going to put it? They'll probably put it right into Bitcoin.
Right, so I think it's a good safe place to hold money.
Right. So I think we're not going to see a dip in Bitcoin. I think we're going to see a dip in the altcoins.
Sure.
Okay. That's where I predict that the dip will be. And it may hit Bitcoin a little bit too, because people will sell out of Bitcoin as well. Once Bitcoin hits 20,000 again, we'll see a dip in Bitcoin too.
They'll start taking that money and putting investing into some other.
They may just take it out of the market completely, because you got to think Bitcoin was getting so super popular last fall when it was gaining value. Because why? The highest we'd ever seen it was what, $4,000, $5,000.
Yeah.
And then we passed that last summer and it just went to the moon. It was skyrocketing to $20,000. So people were thinking, oh, this is going to go. That's not going to stop. So you had brand new people that never heard of Bitcoin, and then suddenly seeing, oh, I made 5 times my money last year in Bitcoin. They were jumping in November, December, maybe at 16, 17,000 on the way up, So basically those people are going to be scared because they were first timers. They went into it and now they're regretting it. They think they're regretting it because they're not realizing, oh, it's a cycle. It's going to come back. And so once we hit that 20,000, 16, 17, 20,000 again, those people are going to sell out. They're going to put it right back into fiat. They're going to put it right back into cash.
Right.
Is really what's going to happen. So you will see a little bit of a dip, but the altcoin guys, those are the ones that are going to be thrown back into Bitcoin. And so I think you're going to see a bigger return on Bitcoin this summer until that dip happens. The Bitcoin dip happens. So,
what's funny is I'm looking at Bitcoin right now and I'm thinking, man, that was hardly a dip at all. At the time, it felt like quite a dip.
The fact that people are complaining that it's at $9,000 right now.
Yeah, I mean,
the fact that people are complaining, I'm like, wait. You understand, in August of last year, we were at 4,000 to 5,000 because it had gone up to 6 and came back down.
August 3rd, it was $2,700.
Oh, geez. Yeah. And we took a dip. That was that late fall dip that happened last year.
And then it went up to $4,500. Okay. Oh, and then it went up. So $4,500. And then let's see, what's this point right here? $4,800 on September 1st.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we got back down to about $3,500. So that was hardly a dip at all. It felt like a big dip at the time though, remember?
No, it did. It felt like a dip at the time.
Like, oh crap, is it going down? Is it going away? I mean, it's just, what's the deal?
Yeah, but think about this. We're at $9,259 right now. That's what one Bitcoin is right now, $9,259. If you would have bought any time last year in a 10-month span, except for the last 2 months of the year, you were up.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's the bigger kick. Everybody said, "Oh, Bitcoin's going to bust. It's going away. It's on this." Okay. What was the low that Bitcoin hit last month? What was our low that it came down to in this lull? It was $6,000.
6,600 or something. Is that
63? I thought it was 63, but it was 60. Let's just say 65. Okay. You were in the 6,000 range. Again, if you had bought, okay, let's say not 10 months, let's say 9 months. Any 9 months of the year last year in 2017, if you had bought, you were still up, and people were complaining that it was going away, and it was still up. That's what just kills me every time. I'm like, you guys don't understand.
Reason they're complaining as well is they bought it at $5,000 or whatever, and it went up to almost $20,000.
They didn't
and
get
instead
out.
of selling and getting a little bit of profit from it, taking some returns, they watched it go all the way back down again. So,
Right. So,
but you're right. I mean, it was, let's see what chart I'm on. I'm on the last month. So, I was looking at the year, and it didn't even get, God, I got to go back to it. It was late. Because I remember Thanksgiving weekend. I talked to my mom Thanksgiving weekend a little bit about Bitcoin, and it was $8,000. Okay.
yeah.
And a week later, I talked to her. It was $16,000. I said, Mom, because she'd paid a little bit of attention to it and watched it going up. She's like, what's this Bitcoin at? I said, it's at $16,000 a week later. And so that's, we saw the big rush after Thanksgiving. Yeah. Everybody sat down for dinner and said, hey, tell me about this Bitcoin thing,
Right. So I went back and looking at this. My birthday, October 20th, is when this hit $6,000. Okay. I'm looking because it was $5,990 on October 20th. And then it went to, on October 21st, it jumped to $6,100. That's when we passed the 6,000 mark. Okay. So let's just say if you had bought anytime before October, 9 months that you had any time to buy last year before October, you've been in the green ever since.
Oh yeah.
You've not lost a penny. You've been in the green ever since.
Yep.
Okay. So now if you had bought November 4th, that's where it peaked up to 7,000. If you had bought then, you're down a little bit. So basically, it's 10 months. If you had bought in 10 months, the first 10 months of last year, you were still in the green.
Right.
And then really you would have had to have bought now because we're over 9,000. You would have had to have bought after Thanksgiving. You're right. No, November 26th, it was at 9,200.
9,200. Okay? Yeah.
9,200. So basically, if you had bought before November 26th last year, so 11 months out of the year, you were in the green right now. And people are complaining that Bitcoin is going to fail and go away.
Yep. And I'm looking at, I can't remember what day Thanksgiving was, and I might have been exaggerated a little bit on my week, but it was pretty close to a week. December 7th, it was at $16,249. So so maybe it was a week and a half or so. I can't remember the exact day Thanksgiving was, but that is that almost doubled from Thanksgiving. So that's probably a week and a half, maybe, right? Maybe 2 weeks at the most.
So I'm looking at December 10th. Is when we basically hit that mark, that six. No,
it was the 7th that we hit 16.
No, it was December 7th. It was December 7th that we hit 17.
And on December 17th, we were up another $3,000. We were up at $19,371, which I think is the peak. So $19,371. So basically, dang near 20 grand. And then a lot of people went out and sold and had a very Merry Christmas.
That's right. And a Happy New Year.
It wasn't us. Don't get us wrong.
No.
We already had our money tied up.
But there was plenty of stories out there of guys going and buying, exotic sports cars. The one I thought was killer is one guy went and bought a Pagani Huayra, like $2 million car, and I don't remember, it was something else. It wasn't a Lamborghini, it was something else. I can't remember. I think it was a Bugatti, like the new Bugatti Chiron or something like that. Another like $3 million car. He went at Christmas and went and bought those down in Florida at the luxury toy store down there in Miami. He bought both those with Bitcoin.
Did he buy it in Bitcoin?
He bought them in Bitcoin.
Nice. Well, at least he didn't use a funding source like Salt or something to buy him.
Yeah.
Now, I love Salt and I love the idea behind it, but
I mean, he was up. I mean, he was really up. So, I mean, and you still look at this. I mean, we were still January 6th. You're right. We were still at 17,000. January 6th, Bitcoin was still at 17,000.
Yeah.
It dipped because people were selling out after that huge boom, and then it came back up. So it came down. This is where the day traders were just having a heyday.
it dipped down to $12,754 and then jumped back up to 17,000.
Yeah.
That's just in a matter of, let's see.
Well, it dipped twice. If you look at that, it dipped down to 13, then back up to 16, down to 12, and then back to 17.
Yeah,
so
right.
the traders were just, I mean, they were, how much the money did they make right there?
Oh, lots of money.
I mean, if they would have sold that at 20, bought back in at the bottom at 13.4, sold again at 16.2, bought back in again at 12.7, and sold at 17, and then the run came down. I'm like, even if you had your trading bot just running that for you over those 2 weeks, I mean, you just made a killing off of that, an absolute killing.
Yeah, it's definitely a day trader's dream. I mean, the volatility in Bitcoin can make some people very rich and can lose people a lot of money. That's why we suggest not doing the day trading thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still looking at bots, man. I still think there's a way to do that, because those things, you just have them set so they have a trailing edge. So if it drops, goes up and starts to drop, and it's not at your sell point, it'll automatically pull you out and stuff. So there's some stuff I've actually been looking into the last couple of weeks that seems pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some good bots and stuff out there. But if you're trying to do it on your own and just watching the market, I mean, unless you know what you're doing, a good rule of thumb is you're not going to lose if you only lose if you sell, right? So
right,
get in it and hold it and wait for John McAfee prediction of $1 million Bitcoin.
And that's the thing. He came out 2 weeks ago. And it was because there was some prediction saying, we might hit $50,000 by the end of this year. That Bitcoin, the peak might be at 50, and he still is saying you're crazy if you think it's only going to be 50,000.
Yeah, it's going to crush that. He says, right?
Yeah. Because his previous predictions last fall, he said Bitcoin would be at 250,000, $250,000. By when? December this year, December 2018.
Oh, of 18. So, okay.
Yeah. So he said the end of 2018, but this was in December 2017. So this was the peak last year, and he said that Bitcoin would be worth $250,000, and then by 2020 it'd be worth $1 million. Right. So those were his predictions, and everybody called him crazy and was like, "No, I don't know about this. What are you smoking? Whatever." I mean, there was a lot of kickback to him on that, but he's still standing by it. Even in the low market, he is still standing by it. And he still came back and said, I think I'm even low at $1 million in 2020. Yeah.
And it's just a matter of
we haven't seen anything yet. And I'm complete agreement. We've been ICO, whatever you want to call it, ICOs, crypto, any of it. I mean, ICOs have only been around a few years.
Yeah.
I mean, really, they've only been around since 2016. And when ICOs really started picking up, or really started, was I think in 2016, 2017 they picked up. Now 2018 they're going crazy. But as far as crypto, I mean, most crypto's only been around 2-3 years.
Right.
Most altcoins have been around 2 or less.
Yeah.
Or less. I mean, and you go back and look at Bitcoin is here the longest, and that really hasn't. I mean, they invented it back in 2008, 2009, but people weren't really doing anything with it until maybe 12.
Well, you could buy a pizza for 40 or 50 Bitcoin, can't you?
It was like 40,000 Bitcoin, I thought. I don't remember. I mean, that was back when Bitcoin was 7 cents. I mean, that was a long time ago, and people were buying pizza back then. So, with it, Papa John's. Now it's considered most expensive pizza in the world because it's worth, $10 million at this point, probably. Yeah. Or 7 million, I think is what they thought last time. But yeah.
But you look back to last year, and I mentioned this in the beginning before you got on. The coin market cap of all of crypto was 17 billion at the beginning of last January 2017.
Yeah, the total market cap.
Yeah, the total market cap. Bitcoin itself was worth, was it $700 to $1,000 range? I can't remember exactly what it was.
Well, that was at the bottom. When it dipped, it went down to 700.
700? Yeah. Okay. $700 last year, probably a little before, maybe last March or something. nobody dreamed that Bitcoin would get up around $20,000 in a year, right?
Yeah, that was
Not a
unheard of.
chance.
If someone would have told you, yeah, in January when it dipped out, let's go back to 1 year. Let's go back to 1 year. So 1 year ago, and that didn't look right.
May 2nd a year ago was $1,400.
Yeah,
I'd have to go back a
okay.
little bit.
So it was January where the January dip comes. Basically, that February. So February 2017, we were at $899. February or January 25th. So and it had been a little bit lower than that earlier in January, around $700. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so it was coming out of the dip because the dip last year was really quick. It was only a month. All right, and then we were right back up to $1,000 or past $1,000 where we were sitting at in December of 2016. Okay, so
Right.
it recouped itself back, by the end of February. Basically, we'd come out of that dip and going into March, we're out of that dip last year. That's why we're saying this is more of a recession that we've been in right now, a market correction, than just the January New Year's dip where a lot of the Asian markets would take their money out. So that we've seen in the past. So yeah, if anybody would have told me then, or told you then, or anybody listening, that $1,000 in February 25th would be worth $19,500, on Christmas, you would have told them they were crazy.
Yeah.
Because just looking back, the gains hadn't been that high. I mean, there'd been good gains, but we were talking from $500 to $700. I mean, in a year, and that's where we'd raised. But if you just put the percentages to it and say, well, okay, if we do a percentage based over all these years, yeah, it's going to hit $20,000 at some point in time just because of the percentage on it.
Right.
If you're doing it, and that's what I'm saying with ETN Electronium right now, if we can manage 25% a month increase, which on a penny stock, basically that's what we're looking at. That's not a lot. I mean, we were at
no, but if
what,
it keeps
1.8
compounding,
cents.
yeah,
But if you exactly at 25% a month,
awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's an incredible gain. So and that's what I'm saying. We're doing 25% right now this month after the market's starting to rebound, and we're still having an attack on us.
Yeah.
So
I just looked back at this.
I think we're going to have a lot more.
I was curious where Bitcoin was at 2 years ago. May 1st of 2016, it was $452. Yeah. And it stayed in that range for quite a while. I mean, quite a few years. Well, golly, I look back to 2014, it got up to $857. Even got up a little bit more than that. Let's see. Yeah. $1,100 back in 2013, November 2013.
Yeah.
So it got up a little bit, but then it just kind of been stagnant for 5 years.
Yeah.
4 years. But now it's starting to be adopted. So it's exciting. It's going to be an exciting year.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I'm just kind of doing the calculations here of what 25% would be. 421. I mean, in a month, let's say it'd have to be 3.5 cents in a month for another 25% off what we're doing. You think we'll only be at 3.5 cents in another month?
So around June 1st or so?
Yeah. June 1st after the fork, you think we'll be at 3 cents?
Yeah, I think so, but I think the marketing and stuff will start taking play in around June as well. I think June could be a very good moonshot for us,
Yeah.
Start climbing from there. So.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at, if we keep the 25% going, I mean, we're at 4.125 cents the following month. 1.25. The following month is 5.15%. You know, I mean, or sorry, 5.15 cents. I mean, that's, I mean, you don't see, there's not a lot of gain. I mean, because it's a penny, you know what I'm saying? But in 4 months, if you just keep going 25 cents, 25 cents, 25 cents, and I think that's really on the low end. I mean, that you're right. Once the marketing gets in, once the ASICs hits, I mean, that's going to go through the roof.
Yeah, definitely slow. It'll slow the amount.
I think we'll jump 125%.
Yeah.
You know, not just 25%. So, but yeah, I mean, it's basically, I think we'll be closer back to where our peak was come the end of the summer. I think we'll be back to the 25-cent range. If not higher. Not higher.
What range did you say?
Well, I'm saying we'll be back, because here's the thing. Once Bitcoin is back up to, say, $20,000 this summer, okay? Once they get back up to that, theoretically, we should be back to 25 cents, 24 cents, wherever we were at when Bitcoin was that high. Electroneum was at, okay?
Right.
That's because there are going to be less people selling off. The ASICs will be gone. The marketing will be kicked into play. Who knows what's going to happen with the patent? They may have, I mean, they said the patent was going to be this fall before it really would start kicking off.
Yeah.
You know, so it really depends on who's going to start using that patent, what businesses are going to start using that patent. And you know dang well, if the patent is being used by a business to accept coin, well, since they're getting it, they have to buy it or get it from Electroneum. They're going to have to rent it, buy it, whatever that patent is. You know how they're going to do that. Well, you know dang well, Electroneum will be the first coin on their list. That they're going to be accepted. So now we have real world use for Electroneum. And if they want Bitcoin, well, then guess what? I think Bitcoin's going to, I don't know how they're going to set this up, but I mean, that would mean Bitcoin would have to be paying for that as well.
Bitcoin's going to have to pay a royalty to Electroneum of some, you know, somehow someone's going to make some money on that. Yeah.
Right. So however they're going to set a business up, and I'm thinking Electroneum's going to set up a processing company, just like a merchant services account, for coins. I think that's what's going to end up happening. But the first coin that's going to be on their list for these companies to accept will be Electroneum.
Yep. And it might make it a required coin. You have to accept Electroneum.
Yeah.
We'll let you do these other ones too, but you have to accept Electroneum. So,
yep.
I just did the compound interest thing as well myself, and just looking at it in a 12-month period with no marketing or nothing else, just a 25% growth a month, we should be at about 39-40 cents in a year from now.
Yeah, and see, and that's why I'm saying we're very low.
That's just saying that steady, steady growth. So
right, that's at 25% a month.
Right.
You know, and then the thing is but the higher our gain is, the higher that 25% is going to be.
Yep. So I don't know. It's exciting times. Like I said, I think we're getting there on the bull run. We see some good things happening, a lot of coins in the green, and it's an exciting time right now. So we're kind of out of the slump, hopefully. We may see a little bit of a later midsummer slump. But like I said, looking back at the last one, when it went back down to 3,500 or whatever, man, it felt like the end of the world. And now we're all kicking ourselves in the butt for not buying it at $3,500, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because that is super cheap. So, anyways. Well, all right, we've been on here about an hour. Do you have anything else to say before we let these good people go? Nobody wants to watch us anymore. We've been on here too long.
Yeah, we're gonna end up like the other two guys out there that do this. Okay.
Well, we're not drinking and smoking and having a good party time, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
But we are having a good time.
So no, that's about it. I mean, I'm hoping we'll hear some more news here coming up shortly, but we're finally in the right trend. I mean, we're seeing lots of money coming back in, and holy crap, we just passed 440.
As we've been talking.
Yeah. So, not dipped again. Dang it. We were at 400 billion. Now we're at 439 billion, but we're still right there, 439.8 billion. So I'm kind of waiting for that 450 billion mark, because we've bounced up to it now and back down now for the last week. So if anybody caught us last week, we were at 400 and not this past Monday, but the Monday before, we were at 445 billion, somewhere right around there, and it dropped back down below 400 to 385 by that Wednesday when we did our show last week. So in 2 days, it dropped $60 billion, 60 billion out of the market in 2 days. So I've kind of been I keep my eyes peeled for that 450 billion. I think once we pass that, you're going to start seeing some real gains, because that's kind of our ceiling right now. Once we break that ceiling, just like when you're watching stocks trade up and down, you're always looking for that ceiling to break the ceiling, because that's when it does a run.
Right.
And that's kind of where we're at, that $445 billion ceiling right now. So I'm kind of hoping to break that, because that'll take us up to our next ceiling. That run will take us to our next one.
I wrote down that when we started the show, we were at 437 billion, and I just updated, and I've got it at 440 billion right now.
Oh, okay. Well, see, that's how quick. I mean,
that's how quick it changes. Yep.
Every minute it's changing. I mean, you're right. And no, it just changed. I just refreshed again, and I just refreshed 2 minutes ago. 439.8 billion. Now it's 440.6 billion. So, I mean, $1 billion went in and out in a minute.
Yep.
So,
and we've had, let's see, how many zeros is that? So $24 billion going through the exchanges in the last 24 hours. So there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of good things. So anyways, appreciate your time, Vance. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for being with us here on Bitcoin Wednesday, your place for all things Bitcoin and altcoins, right?
Yeah. And
have a great week, everybody.
Next Wednesday.
You betcha. Thanks.